before we get started, we just wanted to say a couple of really big thanks, because without these people, it wouldn't be possible to make what we have today. So first of all, we want to say thank you to Blumenthal Arts for letting us use this amazing space. Just look at that globe for a second. That thing is so huge, it's unbelievable. And it's amazing that now for this VR particular event, we can have such a nice place for the meetup. And besides that, we also want to say thank you to Jules and Excurio for finding time to come join us today to talk about their company and their amazing work that you actually can see right over there behind that wall. And also want to say thanks to Charlotte's VR and AR for sponsoring food, and thanks to Cause and Christy for helping with recording graphics and promotional material.
That's all we do.
Yep.
It's literally everything.
And we also have today with us a really special guest, which is Tom Gilbert, who is the head of Blumenthal Arts, and it is my understanding he would like to say a couple of words to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. How many of you are at Blume Studios for the first time? Well, a special welcome to this group. You know, this is intended to be a creative hub and a gathering place for creative people here in Charlotte, and to nurture that creative community. And we're serious about that. And this is one example of what we're trying to do to nurture that community in creating opportunities for people to share and learn. When we opened Blume Studios a year and a half ago, it was really the start of trying to connect with all portions of the creative community, not just in technology, but as we've gone through other productions like Monopoly Life Size, we connected with the improv community to cast that. We did the Magician's Table. We connected with the magician community, which, by the way, is really significant here in Charlotte. Now we are diving much deeper into VR, and just to give you a sense of our ambition here, we have purchased the headsets that you'll experience with this. We didn't rent them. We've purchased them. We purchased 100 headsets because we intend to delve into this world of VR for the long term. We partnered with an incredible company and platform, Excurio, that Jules will tell you about, because we intend for this to be for the long term. You will notice as you tour around through here that this rig is actually designed to be transportable. And so it's using truss and other wall units that can be assembled elsewhere. We are here through the end of August, and then sometime after that we'll be clearing out to go on to another major project that you'll hear about later. But we've made this so that we can set it up elsewhere and continue this work, and particularly make sure that communities throughout Charlotte have access to high quality work. But understand that our ambition to connect with the creative community, to nurture that creative community, has been a driving force in why we are here. People know us as a place to see a Broadway show, and we are, but we're much more than that. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to developing those relationships.
Steven, actually, would you like to say a word? I thought you wanted to say something too. That's the guy who started it.
Hey, thanks for coming, everybody. This is by far our biggest meetup ever. So I just want to give yourself a hand. I appreciate it. All the credit goes to two people. Georgie there, who did it, and Austin, Cause. He's there. Christy too.
Yeah.
Cause and Christy.
There we go.
It comes a team.
Thank you.
The meetup has been around since the Oculus Rift, basically, years ago. We had a little bit of a break there for about 3 or 4 years. Something happened. But hopefully we're coming back. We're trying to do this as a community thing. We try to keep it, we obviously keep it free on purpose, because we want everybody to get together after this is over. Already? At any time, just go ahead. One of the things that we want you to do is make sure you interact with each other. That's the whole point, is get to know people. We have a lot of different people here. We have the artist community, we have development community, we have obviously the Blumenthal people here. It's a really good mixture of people. So I really appreciate you coming out make sure you go talk to somebody. Just meet somebody, just for no reason, just say hello. Some of you know for VR, there's a conference coming up. Anybody going to the AWE conference?
We'll say it.
You're gonna say that? Okay. We'll say that for later. But again, I appreciate you coming out. And again, thanks for Tom for hosting us and having the Blumenthal with such a great venue.
Okay, well, it's slightly loud, so I'll just try to do a little distance. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming. I know some of you personally, and some of you I know through LinkedIn messages, but I'm really glad that you actually made it. I do think you'll get a lot of value out of this. On the baseline, you get some really good food and try the latest XR tech. On top of that, like Steven said, you never know who you can meet here. A lot of us here are in VR XR industry, and if you're looking to break into the VR XR industry, this is a really good way to start building your connections. And briefly about us. So, like Steven said, we are Charlotte VR and AR meetup, but we're also part of even bigger professional network called NCXR. So you guys scan those QR codes and you will find our meetup group and the LinkedIn group. If you are curious about the industry or what's going on in the state, you will find it there, and we would love to get connected with you. And besides that, this is really it. Today we're going to talk about how VR can transform education and entertainment. And we have an amazing speaker. We actually met at the VR conference last summer, and we thought it would be cool to have an event like this. So he's working for a company called Excurio, which is actually based in Paris, France. And so they do really, really cool VR simulations that touching on different cultures, ancient cultures or dinosaurs or something else. And one of their exhibitions is actually here in Charlotte. And so without saying any more extra words, let's just give a round of applause to Jules.
Hi everybody, so I'm Jules. I'm the business development manager for Excurio in the US. So I'm in charge of like finding new great partners like Blumenthal and Blume Studios for showcasing our work. I'm also in charge of like sharing and spreading the word about our tech because our tech now is open to all the studios and creators around the world, and we do have like a great network of partnering venues, 40 around the world. So we're trying to consolidate the industry or this kind of formats of entertainment, edutainment. So that's what we're trying to do. So the team is based in France, but I'm based in the US. For some reason, I'm based in North Carolina, in the Triangle, in Durham, as we know. So today I'm very happy to show you more about what we do, Excurio as a producer of content, where we come from, and where we're going. And as I said, we have this beautiful tech platform that is like very performant that I'd like to tell a few words about as well today. There we go. So at Excurio, we make what we call immersive expeditions. Immersive expeditions is a new way of of entertainment, of experiencing things you cannot do in real life, like literally traveling through time and space. So we've been praised around the world for some media outlets, but that's not the most important here. Just to show you like a quick tutorial of what we do. We don't need the backpacks anymore. It's kind of an old footage now. But actually, immersive expeditions are designed to be experienced with friends and family. So it's a multi-user feature, and so you'll see your peers all along the experience, and you'll get through different worlds. We have like different experiences based in Egypt, based 3.5 billion years ago, and that's a great way for people to travel through time and space, to have great time in family and to learn a lot of stuff while having a lot of fun, basically. So now that we understand more about this location-based VR format, free roaming formats, I have to say a few words about maybe the state of the location-based VR industry a few years ago. Maybe some of you heard about The Void before COVID. It was a company that made like a great immersive experience about Star Wars. Actually, it was free roaming, it was great, but it didn't work for some reasons. The first reason that the experience was good. They spent a lot of money in their budget for the experience to be like well executed and interesting and fun. But actually, it didn't work because there was COVID, of course. But the main issue was the throughput. Just talking about tech for 1 second. So the throughput is key. With the Void, it was possible to do the experience 5-6 people at the same time. But to create like a business that is sustainable for the operators, they need to sell tickets. So they need to have like more people at the same time in the same room. So with our tech, we've been working on our R&D for the last 20 years, and we're very good in spatial computing and with throughput. And we can accommodate over 130 people at the same time in the same room. And that's actually a game changer for the industry. The only requirement we have is to have like a big space, because we want the people to have the best experience. They can really free roam and walk just like if they were in real life. And it's also the condition for having an important number of visitors, and then tickets that are sold by the operators. And if you have like a good economy like this, you'll have like more budget for further experiences. So let's talk about the content, because the content is king also. And at Excurio, we were also obsessed about giving like the best content. So it means actually the budget are quite significant behind each immersive expedition. And we were lucky enough to, when we started working on our first immersive expedition, that was about Horizon of Khufu, which is just here now. We used to be like a commission agency, like an agency doing commission works for VR and stuff. Like many of you here, maybe a lot of like VR companies around the world. We were honored to be chosen by Harvard University back in 2018 to follow them into the Pyramid of Giza, to scan the pyramid from the inside, and to do like work, like a spatial computing, free roaming work. So the scientists back in Cambridge were able to stand in the pyramid and to keep doing their work. But when we were there, we realized that actually a lot of people couldn't get into the pyramid. It's like a very limited footprint because they have to preserve the pyramid. That makes sense. So we're like, well, now that we have the plans, that we have the scan, that we're pretty good with free roaming, pretty good with throughput now, we should create a format for the general public. And that's how it started. And so we were very lucky to pitch this idea to a body of the French government called BPI France. And they actually gave us like a quite significant amount of money. They took a share in our company, a minor share, but just to give you an idea, each content we produce is between $3 to $6 million. So it's a 45-minute experience, and we want it to be like the most convincing as possible. So let's go back to the content per se. So we have this platform called LBXR Plus that is able to host our content, Excurio content, but also third-party content. That's pretty new. In a few weeks from now, there will be Horizon of Khufu here. There will be Life Chronicles, which is a content we co-produce with the Natural History Museum in Paris about the history of evolution of life. The spotlight is with the dinosaurs. And there will be also Space Explorers, The Infinite, was created and produced by Phi Studio, that was showcased here in Charlotte by Blume just 2 years ago. And so all this content are able to coexist on the same platform and benefit from the high throughput and from the multi-content capability. So it means in one room you can have multiple content running at the same time, which is great for the audience, but also for the operators, because they can market different content and people come back and experience different experiences. So we're kind of structuring and building like different verticals of content, if that makes sense, on this platform, because Excurio finally is just a producer among others. So for the first line that you see up there, this is like the 6th immersive expedition we've created this last 4 years. So Horizon of Khufu, Eternal Notre Dame, which is about Notre Dame in Paris, a great success. The Impressionist with the Musée d'Orsay in Paris. We always co-produce our immersive expeditions with museums or experts, and we never ask them to bring upfront money. They bring their experts, and we fund the experience. Just like it's more like a movie industry approach to some degree. Life Chronicles that will be on air pretty soon. The Last Stronghold, which is about the Middle Ages, co-created with the French National Trust. And The Secret of Pyramid Builders, because Horizon of Khufu was such a success, 2.5 million visitors worldwide, that we decided to do a sequel with Harvard once again, and I'm sure there will be like an opportunity soon to showcase it in Shout, since that everybody is about to know about Khufu. And of course, I was saying Over Studios, The Infinite, Machu Picchu, Vivar, Napoleon by Sandora, Terracotta Warriors by HTC. We are working right now, Excurio, with Versailles, the Château de Versailles in France, for an experience with Antoinette, the former Queen of France, and with the British Museum. That's what I can tell. And there are like a ton of like projects that I cannot talk about for now, but hopefully pretty soon. But you see, the pipeline of content is like bottomless, and that's key for the operators to invest in that kind of technology. And since we made like a good use case around the world, we showed that it was possible to have like free roaming VR that works, that is sustainable, with interesting stories, and with like a lot of people experiencing them. There are more and more entertainment IPs that are getting interested to bring their stories onto this LBX Autos platform, because they see there is a market, and we're very happy to talk with them about this. So there will be like in 2027, 2026, some different experiences that will be less about edutainment, but really about pure entertainment. So everybody will be able to choose whatever they want to experience depending on their mood of the day. So the Republic of Pirates, that will be kind of like a Mad Max with pirates, based on the actual Republic of Pirates that existed between the 17th and 18th century in the Caribbean Sea. There will be a game with a clue, her horror content as well that we want to push, and well, some AAA franchises that we are having like conversations for month and month, and we're about to make major announcements, but I cannot tell you more. There will be some science fiction, some medieval fantasy, so there will be literally like any kind of genre that you might like. Just a quick look onto our network of operators, because that's key to have. It's important to have the right tech, the right content, but you have to have this infrastructure distribution. I don't know if you went to this last few years, like there are always like talks about VR at South by Southwest or AWE sometimes, that is about sustainable business models, and people just keep talking about grants and festivals and stuff. Which is very frustrating for me, because I'm like, well, we're trying to build like an actual network of distribution that is very important. And so we're very proud to have like about 40 partnering venues around the world, and more to come. And so the idea is really to create some kind of XR turnkey XR movie theater, if that makes sense, with this technology. So just a little look over what we bring to the operators. It's, well, we're licensors, so we bring the content, we train them, and we bring the marketing assets, of course, that they can work on. But how we convince them is that the high throughput, I told you, and something that is key that I didn't stress that much, it's really like silent disco for VR, what we bring. So it means like in the same room, different content at the same time. So that all makes sense. We're pretty flexible with the space, and Tom said a few words about it, that well, these things will be movable, and it can be like adaptable to any kind of room. Of course, the bigger the room is, the more throughput you have, the better it is. But we can also adapt to smaller rooms. There can be some pillars in the middle. There are like a couple of them here. It's no big deal. We're used to working with this. So maybe just to to give you a little footage that I'm not lying, people are not like bumping into each other. But this is the footage not in Charlotte, it was taken in Paris. But you can see people having like different, you cannot see they're having different experiences, but it's like a different group of people having different experiences, wandering and wandering, which is always great to see that kind of like people with a headset on their head and having like a lot of, like having a blast with their friends, family. It's always great. So, sorry I drifted away from the main topic that was edutainment. But actually we started with edutainment and it was like kind of like a paradoxical approach, because most of the time new mediums are created with entertainment and then it goes in different genres. This is the other way around here. We started with like very serious content, very serious content. When you will experience Khufu, you will see it's very serious, it's based on accurate facts, there are experts behind it, but we have to make something compelling and convincing for the general public, so we couldn't make it too boring. So one of our key challenge from the beginning with Khufu, but it's still the case for each new experience we create at Excurio, the other studios can create what they want to do in terms of genre. But we are always obsessed with bringing like people from different fields, and that's very important for us because different point of views are very important to bring like an interesting story and also different layers of reading, understanding cultural landmarks that are shared by mankind. So when we started this Excurio, we were just like, for Horizon of Khufu, we were just like 12, 15 people. Now we are over 100 people. And based in Paris, I'm the only one lost on my island, if I may say. And we brought people from so many different fields, so many different industries, and that's kind of unique. Brought people from the video game industry, of course, people from the movie industry, a lot of screenwriters working on how we can have like the best storytelling, and of course people from the immersive industries. And it's also great to see like the different operators we have around the world, because we are addressing this to a lot of like different people, and we have a lot of like museums that are showcasing our work, that are investing in our tech because they feel it's a safe bet to bring like people this kind of news stories. Just to give you like a figure, back in Paris we premiered Tonight with the Impressionists at the Musée d'Orsay, which is like one of the main museums in Paris about 19th century arts. And it was premiered there for 5 or 6 months, something like that. There were over 100,000 people experiencing it, and 40% of the people that did our experiences, that was their first time at the Musée d'Orsay. So it's also a great way to diversify audiences for the operators when there are cultural institutions or museums. But we also have like very different operators. We have like more like premium arcade and things like that. But just to tell you that we want this format to be like the most accessible as it can be, and we hope that like in a few years from now there will be like a lot of like XR theaters like we have here. I hope you will enjoy Khufu if you have a chance to try it. I'd love to have your feedback. You can add me on LinkedIn. I'm always happy to exchange. I'll be happy to talk to you right now. Of course, answer your questions right now. Thank you, the NCXR Association for having me tonight. Thank you, Tom, and your team for this wonderful partnership we're having around these experiences. And yeah, feel free to ask me any question.
So we wanted to do like a little Q&A. Do you guys have any questions for Jules? Yeah. Does anyone who would like to do the first one?
Okay. So about how long does it take to see a concept, to testing, to install it in the building? Like what does that process look like, and what is
You mean for creating the content per se? So It's between, I would say between 12 to 18 months. There is like, within this 12, 18 month-ish, there is a phase which is really about brainstorming, which is really about the scenario, that we make sure that everybody is aligned between the video game engineer and the expert from the museum. So that's the longest, and we really work on that like very thoroughly. So yeah, 12, 18 months is what for 45-minute experiences. There are some experiences on our platform that are not produced by Excurio. I'm not really sure exactly what was the length of it, and most of the time they're like smaller experiences, so it might be like a little bit shorter. But for 45 premium experiences with like let's say $3 million, $4 million budget, it's like 12, 18 months with over 100 people working on it.
Anyone else?
Hey, I could probably project. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Hi. Is your experiences individual, or do you have groups where you can see other people doing your experience at the same time, and how many?
It's a multi-user experience, so it means so you're not like isolated from the others. So you can go there with your friends and family, be a group of 5, 6, if even more, but I wouldn't recommend to be more than 7 or 8 people. And you can see your friends all along the experience. They will be like as avatars, but they will have their names on above their avatars. So you'll be able to talk to them and to grab their hand. You see in the footage some people were like holding each other. And for the other people in the room that are not part of your experience, you won't see them unless they get closer to you. So it means that they won't be ruining your view over Cairo or over any kind of world that you're getting through. But they will pop. They will pop up once they get closer to you. So you just avoid them. There will be like avatars, anonymous avatars, and you just avoid them, just like in real life.
Thanks for coming. When you're scanning real life places, such as the pyramids, like you said earlier, are you using LiDAR or point cloud for your edge detection and depth scanning?
Well, good for them, Excurio. I'm not the tech guy of this company, but yeah, I mean. I think for the Pyramid of Giza, it was like a system of like laser that was used. There is more information about this project, which is called Scan Pyramids, which is the Harvard-driven project, and there is more information about the exact tech. That said, for other experiences, for Notre Dame experiences, we used all the work that was created by Ubisoft for Assassin's Creed Unity, which is like the episode in Paris during the French Revolution. And fun fact, actually, you know, Notre Dame burned in 2019, and the French government used the same files that Ubisoft created 10 years ago for renovating the cathedral. So we use these scans for Notre Dame, and for the rest of our experiences, we just recreated the worlds in 3D, and we use we are software agnostic, so we can use Unity or Unreal.
Hi, could you talk a little bit about the user experience as they come into it? I'm sure you get a lot of people that have never been to a VR experience before, so how do you navigate those challenges of educating those guests that come in on how to use the headset and walk through the space, or even when they're in the experience having to want to either remove the headset? So how do you navigate those challenges?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we wanted this to be successful, so we're pretty obsessed with the UX. We have like a big team, like a big QA team and UX team, as you can imagine. So there is a lot of a lot of that goes through training the staff on site. Because, as you said, a lot of people never tried VR, and which is great with our content is that we're not like targeting like tech-savvy people or gamers. It's really for the whole family. So I think like one of our figures back in France was like 26% of our users, visitors were above 65 years old, bringing their grandchildren. So that would be interesting to have like the data from Blume at some point to see exactly what the audience is. So we train the staff when we open like a partnering venue. We stay like for 7 working days. We set up the tech, of course, but there are always like a few days that are dedicated for the staff to train them how to handle the hardware, of course, but also how to tell people what to do or what to expect. So if you experience Khufu here, I'm sure you will have the staff telling you exactly what's going to happen. That there will be like some avatars, that you'll be like in a new world. There is like a TV ad somehow, like just right here before the experience, with like all the safety measures that has to be respected. We have also a wheelchair mode for people who are impaired and not able to walk or just to stay or just to stand for and work for more than 40 minutes. So that works pretty well. And yeah, I think that's it.
Hello, hi. So earlier you mentioned that you were software agnostic, depending on what the needs are for the current project. I wanted to ask more about hardware because I believe I saw more than one headset on the presentation. So I wanted to know if you sort of gravitate towards one type of hardware, like one kind of headset, or multiple. Does it depend on the needs for the specific experience, or how does that work?
So as for the headsets, we are theoretically agnostic as well, but there are like headsets that are better than others for location-based entertainment standards and capabilities. So as for now, but we don't have an exclusivity with them, so I'm not like trying to push them, but we work with 2 brands of headsets. So HTC Vive Focus 3 are the best for us for what we need. And we also work with Pico 4. Pico 4 is kind of new. We started working with them just like less than a year ago, but Pico 4 has like also good capabilities for that kind of experience.
So I combed your website, I don't know, a couple days ago, and I noticed that there was a lot of education association there, and outreach of classrooms, classes, AP classes, etc. From what age are you actually, quote, allowed to put these on children's heads?
Yeah.
Because I know it was different pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's theoretically and technically up to the operator to decide this, but we do recommend over 8 plus.
So, from your side, it's 8 up?
Yeah, 8 years old would be like the threshold for us.
I have a question. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I'm curious about the licensing arrangements that you have with the various entities that it seems like you probably have multiple licensing arrangements. And also music accompaniment arrangements. Can you tell me about those?
So if I understood correctly, you're asking like how many licensing frameworks we have to make this happen. So basically, it's just like a single licensee partnership contract with our operators. So it's based on revenue share. So we don't sell our content. We just share some revenues, and of course the vast majority of the revenues are for the operators who are taking the risk and who are showcasing the content and hiring the staff. And then maybe the other part of your question was more for from the studio's perspective, if they want to use our platform. It's a free access platform for the studios. Well, they have to reach out to us. You cannot really find it like online. But it's free to use, and then it's just that for each ticket sold like around the world with an experience that is on our platform but not from Excurio, we also take like a little percentage So that's how it works. I like giving this analogy because it's world famous and we're in North Carolina. You know, Epic Games carry North Carolina. I like making this analogy that's kind of big-headed of me to say that because we're just a 100 people company, but Epic Games, they were producing games and then they also pushed and released their software so that everybody can use. Actually, it's exactly what we're doing right now. We have our content and we will keep creating our content, but since our tech is good and has proved that it was scalable, we are also sharing the software we created to make this happen.
So can I have a follow-up?
Mm-hmm.
So like you mentioned Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft, so did you license that content from them to use it in your Notre Dame?
I'm not sure I got exactly what you. So you mean like
So the content that you're using, like, so you mentioned that you used Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
So you licensed that from them.
Yeah, I mean there are like as many arrangements and contracts that can exist. Really depends on the assets. We have like an arrangement with the Egyptian government as well because they have like intellectual property and that's more than normal on the pyramids and on the images of the pyramids. So all of this is like dealt during like the production phase, of course.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that in your experiences people become avatars, but what if I'm about to like walk towards a wall and like maybe bonk my head against it, or like do I see it and how does it like affect the experience then?
So you're saying that what happened when you walk into the room, what you see exactly?
So if I'm in a room and I'm walking towards a wall, so I see people as avatars, but how do I see a wall as?
Yeah, there will be like a chaperone, like a grid.
Oh, okay. So
like a grid that just pops when you get closer to it, not a last minute pop, but you will have time to realize there is a wall or there is like a column.
Sure. So does it affect the experience in any way? Because if I'm on like an historic tour and then there's like a modern wall there, does it really interfere with the experience in that case?
You mean like having columns and walls?
Yeah.
Does it affect? I mean, for each new venue, we work on a specific layout, and we work like on specific pathways that people will be using. And the server we have, Excel Pulse, is like computing all the time to scatter the people in different ways to optimize, I would say, the throughput and the experience for everybody, because it's not super nice to have like a lot of people around you all the time. So this is also like one of the perks of LBX Plus.
I just want to let me add to that. I just want to add on to that question, because I was fortunate enough to do the experience. If you step too far out of the experience, it will all disappear and you see like a column of light like go back here, and then it all comes back. And yeah, if you get close to something, you get a grid that appears, but if you back away, it goes away, so it doesn't affect the experience.
Thank you.
I have two questions for you. The first one is, do you plan to incorporate eye tracking in the future?
Well, actually, it's already incorporated. Not for, I mean, for Khufu, you might see your hands, but you won't be able to. You might see your hands like recreated in the experience, but you won't be able to interact with assets through your journey. But there are like newer experiences like the Last Wall and the Secret of the Pyramid Builders, where you can actually interact with your hands for opening a door or for petting a cat, as far as I remember. But the idea is we're still working on finding the right balance between interactions, because there are a lot of people that are, they're not gamers, so they won't be able to activate it, they won't be paying attention. So we want the core experience to be the same for everybody. And we want also to add some like, not Easter eggs, but some interactions for people who are more used to VR and video games. And there are like a lot of like challenges ahead and a lot of debates and conversations in our company right now is like for further experiences like in entertainment. It will be great also to have like different avatars with different skills. As an example, some people could understand like an alien language in their hair covers, whereas the others wouldn't be able to, so they have to cooperate. Some people would be able to open a door because they are thieves or whatever they are. So there is like a ton of like avenues for development and really cool stuff. But we have to keep in mind that everybody won't be able to activate all these features. So we have to find the right way to make everybody happy. And we also have, getting back to the economic model, we also have to make sure that people don't stay 2 hours in the venue, in the VR space, because the operators, they need to have like a good base of throughput, and because that's how the model is sustainable.
And then once the project is finalized, are there continuous updates with it, or once it's done, it's done?
Well, actually, our content is still pretty new. Our first immersive expeditions was released end of 2022. So there is like the sequel of Khufu that was just released in December back in Paris. There is also like another little add-on for Khufu that we are adding and what we're working on at the moment, about to release, which is more scientific and more about the mission with Harvard we had called Sand Pyramid. But it's technically possible to do like a rebuild of any experience. Just like a fun fact, for live chronicles in Europe, at some point in the experience, at the end of the experience, you meet the first human beings. So they're kind of like half monkey, half human beings. I can't remember exactly what their names was. So there are people that were living naked. So of course we depicted them as naked. And then we imported this concept to America, and they said, no. So in America, they look like Ken and Barbie.
It's nice they had a gun.
So that's it. So of course, yeah, we can rework them depending on the opportunity of the market and depending on like censorship sometimes.
Beyond the economics and the licensing, what are some of the biggest hurdles that y'all are trying to overcome right now?
Well, there are many. I mean, business-wise, this is where I'm more knowledgeable. But to get to a more like tech matter, there are like all this personalization that we are working on, especially with like entertainment IPs, because they are really focused on that, and it's great because it pushed the boundaries very far in our tech, but we still have to find the right balance with like, you know, making this experience approach accessible and enjoyable for everybody. And I would say AI is also, of course, the elephant in the room, but for the best, because it will allow us to be like even more efficient, more productive, and to find also like different scenarios within the same experience. That's something we are working on. I mean, the last stronghold, the Secret of the Pyramid Builders, which is our newest experiences, you have like kind of like 2-3 scenarios, whereas Khufu, you will be able to explore the world the way you like, but the story per se is like some chapters one after another. With the last stronghold and with like the Secret of the Pyramid Builders, they are like alternative ends and different pathways you can take and meet different people and have like different activations that have some consequences on the story. So of course AI will be like a great tool, if I may say, or framework for developing this.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Here.
Hi, Keith. So I have 2 questions. The first one is, I did the demo, and in the Khufu, you stand on a slab at one point, fly around or you're on a boat. So I'm imagining the size of that room. You have X number of people, they're not all in your group. Everybody's not on the same slab, so they're experiencing that slab or that boat in different areas of the room. And you mentioned, you know, cost and stuff, and you talked about the XRTA. Well, if you go to Discovery Place, they'll have different showings, 45-minute showings of different dinosaurs, space, whatever. But you can't watch both movies at the same time. What would keep you from doing that here? I want to go see Khufu, or I want to go see the space station. And I'm with my group, we experience the space station like somebody over here is on the slab. And second, is this going to be one of those XR theaters permanently, where you can come here any weekend or whatever and pick an experience?
Yep, I think you got it. Actually, we will be adding with Blumenthal Blume and new experiences in 2 weeks from now. I mean, in 10 days from now. Actually, there will be like Life Chronicles, which is about the history of evolution of life, and Space Explorers as well, the Infinites. So there will be like 3 experiences running at the same time, starting June 11th. So you'll be able to come here, and if some people of your group don't like Egypt for some reason, they'd be able to do Life Chronicles while you're doing Khufu. So yeah, that's the whole perk of our tech. At the same time, like silent disco for VR, if that makes sense.
I love it. I love that analogy.
And yeah, and actually Tom said it like earlier. The idea is to have like this kind of unified standard, this tech that allows to have like multiple titles running at the same time. They can curate like how many titles they want to showcase. If they want to focus more on entertainment or on discovery, it's really up to the operators. Just like what the movie theaters do with all the movies on the market, actually.
All right, so we're slowly getting short in time, so we're trying to kind of keep everything in check here. Are we still good going to the studio? Yes. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for coming. This was the talking part. So now will be the active part. You basically have choose your own adventure kind of situation. If you want, you can go see the full 45-minute experience over there now. You can stay here and hang out with others. You can try a little preview of that 45-minute experience. Or just try other VR projects that other people brought today. So it's really up to you. And choice is yours. Everyone here is getting a free ticket. So I want to say a big thank you to Blumenthal Arts. Yes. Yes, so, and to go even beyond that, in case you cannot make it today, you'll have an option to go between now and the end of August, which is when this exhibition ends, which I think is really nice. So, thank you very much. I just wanted to say one quick little thing that I want to bring up in the beginning. So, besides being all those things in NCXR and Charlotte, ERER, we also happen to be part of this big thing called Augmented World Expo, which is one of the biggest VR and VR conferences, not just in the US, but globally. And so every single year it culminates in a gigantic conference in Long Beach, California, where you can meet people from Meta, Google, Snapchat, Apple, Excurio, and many other VR-related companies. This year they actually decided to go further. They also expanded on AI and robotics, and a bunch of us actually going there. In fact, Jules will also be there too. And if you guys are interested to join us, please let us know, because they do offer some volunteering opportunities where you can get free ticket. You just need to pay for the travel and stay, but you can be really active. And if you want to break into the industry, this is like one of the really good ways to meet like high people over there. So, thank you all.
Thank you so much.
For those of you that want to go see Bree, raise your hand. Go follow Bree right now, because it's a 45-minute experience and they close at 8, so you have an extra 5 minutes and that's it.
And for anyone I had already talked to about the raffle, never mind, you're all winners, go do it.
And thanks to Jules, thank you Tom, back there, Blumenthal, and especially Georgie here who set this all up.